Hey everyone, welcome back to Swanky Paint updates, versions, and stuff. We are now at Alpha+8c.
Says so there. 8C.
8c.
Next time I think we're going to have to go up to 9.
Really?
Well, yeah. What it is that I change the number when I do another drawing. So, do you want to draw the next one? Because
Yeah, okay.
it's your turn.
Right. So this is version 15.376. And we got quite a few updates and stuff, especially one very interesting update, which we will reveal in time. Okay, let's see the first one, which is show layer size in checkerboard background of image.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
I hope so.
Right, so if you look, you can see there's a sort of slightly different colour area, which is your sort of drawing area where you draw, right? When you set up a layer, so this is like a 2x2 layer, you see that's it's changed slightly, so there's a little bit of a slight, it's a little bit hard to see on that screen, but there is a slight colour variation. So now you can see that this bit is like one layer, this bit is another layer, and another layer, and another layer, so it just shows how the image is going to be chopped up.
Cool. There's like
Very slightly.
a simple grid system.
It's a sort of it's another sort of slightly different colour grid you can see in the background. I think is it a little bit easier to see there?
It's very subtle.
Yeah, there you can see it. That one looks okay. So you can see that the size of each layer that's going to be chopped out of the big image.
That's great. That really helped me when I was doing the animation frames.
Yeah, it's great for animation because you've got like this big blank area of transparency, and now you've got like a little sort of grid so you can see which frame is which.
It's great. The next one is frame and layer panels with key list setting.
Okay, those are on here. As you can see, we've got 2 new icons.
Ooh, new icons. That's 4 actually.
Yeah, but these are the 2 new ones. That one should have been there a long time ago. Yeah. These are the 2 new ones, right? So this one's your layers, which has like some of the buttons that was previously on the new frame page.
I love this setting.
One of the things you can do now, as well as the other bits, is you can type in like a number of keys. So if I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. So what that will do is when you're cycling through your layers, if I chop my layers up, so I had 4 layers, right? So when I cycle through the layers, it now does the first layer, the second layer again, and then the first layer again. So all I'm doing here is pressing the forward layer key, so it lets you sort of set up animations, so they're not just linear 1, 2, 3, 4 animations.
You can skip and do
you can skip and you can repeat frames, and you can say I'll have frame 1, then I'll have frame 27, then I'll have frame 1 again. It's that sort of.
That's really good. It's really useful for me to just go to different frames if I want to compare my current animation frames to, let's say, frame 33 with another image. So it's really good.
So that one's for layers, and there's exactly the same one for frames as well, the frame key list. So it lets you, instead of having an animation that goes frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, you can go frame 1, frame 3, frame 2, frame, whatever order you want. So it's kind of useful for the very simple.
I think the best one, if you could open scale.
Open scale.
Yeah. If we open a sprite sheet.
Where are we?
Big Trouble?
Yep.
We're Swanky Paint right
now. Oh yeah, it's not here, is it? I'm confusing myself
about
HD
apps, Big Trouble.
Where are HD apps? There we go. Okay, so Big Trouble, art, images, scale. Okay,
let's save this one. You see these huge sprite sheets, and you're like, I want to animate the sprite sheet. So what you can do is go to the frame, or is it?
These layers.
The layers, and then you just chop it up, and you get to see it.
Yeah.
And then you can go through the animation, so you can see.
Yeah.
And then you can, once you do that, you can go back to join it. You join it back into a sprite sheet, and that's amazing.
Yeah. So. I mean, I'm calling them layers, but I mean, it's kind of, you can use them for animations if you want to, or you can use like the actual animations that you would get out of an animated GIF or a PNG. But it's often easier to have like sprite sheets rather than individual frames, because it's nice because what you can do is when they're all together like that is you can actually make changes to them globally, so you can change the head a bit on one frame and just copy paste to where the head is on the other frames. You can see all the frames at once and edit all at once.
Yep.
Which is nice for sprite sheets.
Cool. The next one is a bug fix.
Yep.
There is a bug that was reported by Truck. Hi, Truck.
Yeah.
And thanks for your bug report. And it was about a layer loading crash.
Yeah, it was just a general bug, so I fixed that, but also at the same time I made it so that if anything does go terribly wrong, the application doesn't just quit and exit. Instead, it sort of crashes in slightly less horrible ways. So if in the future you manage to crash the application, it's more likely, say, that this entire drawer area will disappear, but you'll still have the GUI around, and something like that is more likely to happen than just crashing to the prompt. And in that case, it actually wouldn't have done anything particularly terrible at all. You wouldn't even have noticed it, despite it being a bug. So it's a little bit, it just keeps going. Instead of giving up when something goes wrong, it just goes, and just tries to keep going. And that could be worse, but assuming you're actually, making something and haven't saved it recently, then that's preferable.
That is much preferable.
Yeah.
Right, so the next one is made exiting with error a last resort.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So
exiting
probably
with error.
less user data loss.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, the next one is added resize knob to one-to-one preview and change how the positioning works.
See, this is the when you zoom in, it keeps this little window thing here to show you what it looks like at normal size. So previously you could move it around, but it wasn't so easy. But now there's this little knob there which I can't click. What the hell? Where'd it go?
You've managed to.
I managed to kill it. It's because it didn't like running with my normal graphics card, and I'm running it under a second graphics card because this screen capture is unhappy.
Are you? Oh yeah! Wow, that's amazing.
So let me just start that again.
Right. Well, we'll be right back. We'll keep recording and then we just edit this bit out.
Well, I just need to tell it to load the.
Oh, the other one. That's fine.
Is it back? Yeah.
Yes.
There's something very strange with the
Ooh,
the
nice.
screen recording, which is it was getting sort of strange flickeriness. It was very unhappy, so I tried running it with the other graphics card, but I think it's like got slight driver problems. Anyway, let's try and get the screen back to the right size.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, we're back. So where was I? Oh yes, this thing you can now scale it around.
Right.
So previously you could set the size and you could set whereabouts it is, which corner it's on, but now it's just a lot easier whilst you're still doing stuff to just change the size of it. That's it. That's
cool.
what that feature was. A little knob.
Awesome. Right, so the next one, which is the major new feature, it's called...
Is it major?
Yeah. Major feature is the UV mapping preview mode. Ooh.
And that's the other icon down here, this one.
Lovely.
What does that look like to you?
It's a triangles within triangles.
It's showing like UV mapping. So what this does is it lets you load a colada.dae file, which you can export from things like Blender. So it's a 3D file. Here's one that I've sort of made earlier. Where are we? Cube.dae. And then what you get is a sort of preview in 3D that you can sort of rotate around, and it's live updating as you're editing this bitmap. So if I get to, so as you sort of draw on here, it updates your 3D, and you can have any shape. This is just a cube. I'll switch into my Blender and show you where that came from. So this is the Blender file that it came from. As you can see, as soon as I get my Blender, where's my Blender? There it is. As you can see, there's a cube, and this is the UV mapping of the cube. And this is saved as a DAE file, loaded into Swanky Paint, and then you can sort of preview it and draw over the top. One of the things you can do in Blender is this export UV layout, and what that does is sort of export this UV view as sort of lines and stuff, so it gives you a starting image It gives you an idea of what the geometry is when it's been flattened. But I mean, you need to know sort of 3D stuff to do this
Yeah,
sort
but
of
it's
thing.
just one button, so.
But yeah, once you've made your DAE
Your
file
lovely
and it's
3D
got
model.
proper UV mappings, yeah, you can then load it into the Swanky paint and texture it using just
You want to switch
normal
to the Swanky paint window.
Swanky paint window. Oh yes, let's take away Blender. There you go. So as you load it in, and then you can texture it. So this is just load a texture I've prepared earlier for this cube. Obviously, I made a what did I make? Oh, I made a dice.
A dice.
So yeah, so that's
scary looking dice. I know that.
so
What's the red line?
that's just where the Blender window is.
Right,
It doesn't. It's not recording that. It's okay. So yeah, so this is a dice. It's a texture. You draw the texture, and it gives you a preview in 3D that you can sort of rotate around and see what you're doing.
Awesome.
Magical.
Yeah.
See?
And you can zoom in.
Well, it kind of just sort of fits the area that you've given it. So, and obviously you can load in, something that's got a few more polygons than a cube, and it'll be all right. No, I don't actually. I haven't really tested this. It's new.
No car or anything.
There's a car, but that actually doesn't have many more polygons than a cube.
Well, it looks like it's more.
It looks a bit more, but honestly, it does not have many more polygons. So there's a little car. You can see this is the wrong texture for it, but that is sort of textured onto this car shape.
Do you have a better texture?
Do I have a better yeah, but I don't remember where it is. I haven't prepared a car. You're surprising me with wanting a car. This is just, it's just showing 3D.
Yeah, that's great.
Right. You draw, and it turns up. If you wanted a car, you'd have to draw it in real time like that, see?
Right.
Is that it? Is that good enough? Is that a 3D view?
It's a horrible looking car, but it's a wonderful
test.
3D
It's
view.
a test.
So now, then that's our UV mapping preview mode.
Yeah, lets you load in a DAE file. And
Right.
I think that's kind of it. There's like one little more thing.
Yep, Windows now has an icon, and remove the forced DOS window.
So hopefully when you start up the Windows version, it won't open a command prompt next to the main window you're using, so it'll look a bit cleaner.
And one final one, which is the copy brush palette to image.
Yep, so it's just one thing that was missing. This palette from Brush is if you've got like two images with different palettes, you can pick one up and then go to another image. We don't have another image, but if we did have another image, we could go to another image and it would let you save the palette down to that.
Cool.
And that's it, I think.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Great. Thanks for listening in. And
This
we'll
is a
see
mess.
you next time.
Yeah.